Alright, what's up everyone? Daddy Warbooks here, and today we are continuing our playthrough of The Curse of Strahd. At the end of our last session, the party, having wandered through the city of Barovia after their harrowing experience in the Death House, they came upon Ismark and Irina Kolyana, and they detailed how Irina was being harassed and assaulted by Strahd, who wished to ferry her away and force her to be his bride. So Ismark implored us to try and get her out of the city to somewhere safe. Before we do that, though, we had to bury their father, who had recently died, and having gone to the church, we encountered a lot of things. The priest had his son turned into a vampire, and it was keeping him alive below the church, and the party decided that they would not allow such an abomination to live, and they went under the church to put this boy out of his misery. After it was all said and done, the party did help the priest bury his son. They buried Irina's father, and then they slept at the church overnight, which is what we are looking at now. So we are picking up. It is daytime. The party is getting ready to leave on an expedition far to the west to the village of Kresk, where they think that Irina may be safe. And before you do go, would anybody like to do something, say something?
I would state that I'd be making a lot of notes about all the ghostly visages of people wandering up towards the castle that we saw in the night, including our previous party members that unfortunately passed on.
Okay.
Just a note, make sure I don't die so that doesn't happen to me.
Seems
like a big exclamation mark next to it.
Yeah. Don't die! Exclamation. All right, it's a legitimate concern. Anyone else?
So before we leave the church here, I'm going to spend at least a few minutes praying to my deity just before we get going, to bless our party before we head out.
Okay. So are you casting bless? Is that what's happening here?
No, not casting bless. I'm just
asking for his blessing. Good. That's what I thought you meant, yes. Kappa. So as you drop to your knees and you pray and you reach out to try and commune with your deity, right? Someone this otherworldly being that you have had contact with before, you see it's almost like a fog between you and him. For some reason your god cannot reach you here.
So with that, Kriv is going to just pretty much take notice and hold it in inward and just be like, this is interesting. I'm not sure what is truly happening in this place. And then I'm going to stand back up and be prepared, ready to go.
All right. Ismark and Irina, they are standing close together, and as they do, they're kind of talking in lower tones, and they're just kind of going through their pack, making sure they have their supplies, getting ready for the trip. They look up and they say, "Well, we might need to get food. I'm not quite sure how long the trip will take. Rations, water, just may need to stock up on supplies before we go."
That does sound like a good idea.
Well then, let's go. Snug will hang out and clean up a little bit, and he'll tell you that he'll stay here with Mr. Priest guy.
Mr. Priest guy. Donovich!
Donovich, yes.
Although I am somewhat embarrassed to say, but I do not have any money on my person. So I cannot help and contribute to the procurement of food or water for the journey.
Okay. Nobody else has anything to say. He just said that he's abandoning the party, and you guys are like, yeah, well, we don't have any food.
Snug is penniless.
Oh yeah, that. Sorry, I don't know if my push to talk came through, but Arius just basically said that he doesn't have any money at all.
Oh yeah, we heard you.
Oh okay, sorry, I didn't realize it came through.
I have little bit of money to spare. I have 2 copper and 9 silver.
Well, Snug, I don't think anybody's protesting or interested.
Well, given that we just met, well, at least I just met him yesterday,
Right?
I'm pretty much just going to sneer and be ready to go.
Okay.
Fine with me.
Yes, I suppose we will see what we can catch on the road.
A second. Hold on. My lovely and beautiful assistant is stuck at trying to connect. What the hell? Oh my god. There you go. Yeah, this is so interesting. Ayo, alright, she back. Yeah, I had to smack her around a bit. Say, come on, do your job. Alright. So, everybody's ready to go?
Yep.
Alrighty then. And where would you like to go?
So we're heading towards Kresk.
You want to leave town immediately?
Well, they said they need to get rations, didn't they?
Yeah, they said they need to get some stuff. I mean, we don't have any. I'm assuming none of the party members really have any cash to buy any, so pretty much wait for them to get what they can, and then we'll head out, or travel with them to buy stuff, I suppose.
Okay.
It may be best to travel with them to help to see the supply place again.
So, the two of them, they're going to start walking down the main road, and they're heading to. I want to just grab those two. They are going to head here, okay, down to the general store. Are you guys gonna follow, or are you just gonna kind of wait at the edge of town?
I'll go with them.
Sure, I'll follow along.
Same.
Okay. As you begin to walk through the town, you see a man who he's very like he's got very fine clothing on, and as he is strolling through the town, you can see he's taking a great deal of time, looking around at the buildings, at the people, before his gaze finally fixes on you. And when he does look at you, you see that it's with great interest.
How far is that?
The distance?
90 feet.
Yeah, so you can see them, but it's like shouting distance. Remember, it is daylight out.
Daylight relatively foggy though, probably, right?
A little bit. Like the fog does persist through the city, but it is most prevalent on the outskirts. When you start heading into the forest.
He will see that fine-looking group. Wait, do they see me? Right?
Mm-hmm.
But are they interested?
I would guess not. They don't seem focused on anything but themselves.
All right. Well, then I'm just going. I will just approach and just kind of follow them.
I'm gonna pull out my greatsword.
As soon as you do, Irina turns around. What are you doing? Put it away. Are you trying to draw attention to us?
This guy seems shady.
Ooh-wee.
Arius will lean into Assuan and say, "If anything happens, we shall deal with it, but let us not make enemies before conversation has been had."
He kind of huffs and puts his sword away.
I'll sort of step in front of the party. "Hello, friend. Is there anything I can help you with?"
Actually, yes. I was wondering if you could tell me what town I'm in again.
"Oh, are you lost?"
He'll think a moment. I think so.
He'll take a look at the man and try and sort of gain his measure. Does he seem like the general depressed populace that we've come across so far, with the exception of the women in the tavern?
No. He doesn't seem like a native Barovian at all. His very finely tailored clothes are even though they are darkly colored, they definitely stand out compared to the drab, dull wear that you've associated with the commoners.
Okay. It appears you have met a similar fate to me and my companions. I take it you are not a native of the area of Barovia.
Barovia? No. Is that somewhere in Germany? Or Romania, rather?
I'm sorry, I do not know of the places you speak.
Then it seems that we are at an impasse.
Quite. However, we ourselves found ourselves in the fog on the outskirts of the town, and awoke in this strange land. As we understand
around.
it is not. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, he'll look around at your party members.
Yes, it appears that the place where we are is not a part of the general world that we come from. Or at least it is not on any maps or locations that any of us have heard of.
So what do you perform?
Perform?
What?
Well, looking at you, you look as though you could be a, let's say, traveling circus.
I see. No, we are not a traveling circus.
And he'll lean
Merely
in.
a
He'll lean in
group
really
of-
close to you, and he'll say, "So you're saying that that gentleman over there is not wearing a frog costume?"
I kind of step.
I'll lean in close and say, no, he is a frogman. They are called bullywugs. And his name is Assuan, by the way.
He'll just nod skeptically.
And may I have your name? Forgive me, my name is Arios.
Yes, my name is Mcpherson. Crawford Mcpherson of London.
London. Where is that? I have never heard of it before.
Quite frankly, I have no idea where it is. From where I am now. I am assuming
see.
that I am in Romania, but I cannot tell for sure.
I do not know what Romania is, but perhaps that is what your people may call Barovia.
I kind of.
It is something to discuss. And I pull out my book and start making notes.
I kind of lean to Arias and like, I think he's crazy.
The same may be said of us, based on our experiences.
What he's talking about these places and stuff that those don't exist.
Well, until the day before yesterday, we did not know of the place Barovia. It stands to reason that much of the world is still unexplored.
He thought
and
I
that
was
there
a
are still a great
cuss.
many things. Yes, well,
He thought I was a costume.
I have seen men dressed in the garb of bears and of dragons to emulate them in performances. This is not so strange.
Well, where I come from, it is. We are frog people. We don't dress up like them.
Well, yes, of course, but perhaps where he comes from, they do not have frog people. Bullywugs may not be native of that part. They might be unsuitable to live in the climates.
Listen, you're speaking some weird stuff, okay? We are suitable in all climates.
Oh, I have never encountered a bullywug on the top of a mountain.
It's because you've never been with me.
Well, that much is true. Anyway, my suggestion would be to give the gentleman the benefit of the doubt. I'll turn back to the newcomer. We are currently looking for a method of returning to our places of origin. At the moment, we are helping to escort these two natives to somewhere else. I'll explain in a little more detail on the way, but you are welcome to join us.
Very well, I think I shall do that.
I must ask, however, the majority of us are somewhat skilled in methods of self-defense at combat. Do you have any such skills that perhaps we can make use of and utilize? It's always handy to know what a fellow companion is capable of.
You stumped me. Damn it. My weapon of choice is my mind.
Ah, so you are much like me then, a spellcaster of sorts.
A spellcaster?
Yes, a weaver of magics, though I draw the majority of my powers from the divine.
Divine?
Yes, do you not
Frankly,
know
this,
of
I have
gods?
no idea what you're talking about.
Then what is it that you do?
Can I,
Here,
can I use my passive perception?
Alright, what's your question?
Can I use my passive wisdom perception just to glance over this person to tell from look what he is?
Okay.
Or maybe like, like if he's got roughed up. I mean, I know he's not a monk.
Right.
He's probably a cleric, right? So, I mean,
Okay. Well,
would he have battered fists or
as
something?
as far as player knowledge, okay.
Right.
Since you've established that Mcpherson is from our world, right? Where there isn't magic and clerics and whatever. When you look at him, his appearance very much would give you the impression of what we would associate with a monk, right? Because he's wearing robes. He's got like big beaded jewelry like you would see on like a Tibetan monk, and then he has holy talismans and symbols around his person, right? So that is what your character would associate with him. Is he looks like he just rolled up out of a monastery.
Nice.
All right, here we go back to the other channel. Secrets.
Judging from your appearance, I would say that your robes state to me that you are from some sort of a monastery. You wear talismans around you that I do not recognize at the time, but are probably of religious sorts.
Yes, I am. I worship Ogma, the god of knowledge.
I do not think I am aware of this religion of yours, though it does intrigue me so.
Do they not have gods where you come from?
Well, actually, yes. Somewhat. It depends on who you ask. I have better things to do than to devote my time to superstitious nonsense.
Nonsense, is it? Ha, very well. I shall respect your opinion. As I have stated, I myself am a weaver of magics. My friend here, Assuan, is a capable warrior, and we have a new companion with us, recently joined by name of Kriv. He also is a warrior.
I suppose it would be beneficial to have some sort of muscle.
I am the muscle.
Mcpherson will look at you and be like, so how does a small frog person carry such a large sword?
Bullywug. And I am the strongest.
Do your arms match your size?
Do you want to have a challenge?
Are you the bodybuilder of bullywogs?
Is that an insult?
No, I'm just asking out of character because I have no idea what you look like other than your face.
No, he's not like a super swole bullywug. Like his arms are proportionate to the rest of his lumpy frog body. Actually, if you look at his character portrait on Roll20, it'll give you a bit of an idea. Or let me see if I still have the handout.
There's a picture in your DM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I see it now. I assume you refreshed. I assumed you refreshed your picture, and I didn't refresh my side.
I think I deleted it. Oh well. Looks like a bulky Battletoad. He is a Battletoad. I told him to name his character Zit or Pimple, and he wouldn't do it.
No.
Those are the Battletoads! Although there were 4 of them. It was Zit, Pimple... Anywho, so as you guys are having this... Because the conversation just kind of goes in circles, right?
Right.
With you asserting that Mcpherson is mistaken, and he continues to make observations about your guys' appearance and you know what he is trying. You know, it's like he's trying to put logic to something that doesn't make sense to him. And as the conversation continues back and forth, eventually Irina and Ismark get annoyed, and they say, "Are you guys coming into the store or what?"
Yes, we're coming.
And as you go into the store, Irina and Ismark busy themselves going about collecting rations and other things. Are you guys going to shop for anything? I know some of you said you don't have any money currently.
I want to walk up to the counter.
Okay.
Do you have bugs?
The man behind the counter looks at you just flat faced, and it just, why would we have bugs?
To eat?
I suppose you could look around outside. They would be everywhere.
You guys don't just sell them. I have to go look.
Why would
Okay.
we sell bugs?
Do where I come from.
They sell bugs?
Yes. I don't even need to buy them.
Do they have bug ranches where you're from?
No. We have people go out and collect them. Well, I had people.
The shop owner just continues to sit and stare at you.
Get my own bug.
He turns to McPherson and just stares at you with a very sallow looking face, with an unchanging expression. Oh, you were saying something, Kriv?
Yeah, so while Irina and all of them were getting their rations and stuff, I wanted to overhear how much he was charging them for those rations.
Oh, you gotta make me look up what the cost for rations is.
Pretty sure it's 2.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong. Oh dear. Okay. Rations. Wait, where'd they go?
5 silver per day.
5 silver. Yeah. So, you hear that the cost is somewhere around 8 silver.
Okay. With that in mind, I want to go up to the clerk and pretty much ask the manager and ask him for at least 5 days of rations.
He looks at you wordlessly, goes about collecting them and places them in front of you. Will that be all, sir?
Unless you sell any magical items of sorts, that should be it.
He just stares at you blankly and doesn't answer.
Then
Can
that
I-
would be it.
Can I tell if this guy is breathing?
Yeah. No perception check needed. He is alive. I mean, he is a human, flesh and blood. But there definitely seems to be something wrong with him.
Could I go collect bugs outside to make up a ration?
To make up a ration?
Yes, that's what my rations are.
Okay. No, you can't just collect bugs and stick them in your pack and expect them to be good. But there's also no reason why, if you got hungry during travel, you just couldn't look for insects and eat them. Right?
Okay.
Does that make sense? I'm pretty sure that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, let's go.
No, I'm just here for the company in the store. There's not really anything I can do.
Alright. As you walk out of the store, Irina and Ismark are grabbing the rations, shoving them into their pack, and you hear Irina, she kind of shudders. She's like, "Oh, I hate speaking with them. It's just so unsettling."
Are we outside the store right now?
Yes, you are standing outside.
I'll ask the Irina lady if she knows anything about that person in particular.
No, I don't know anything about him. I know his name. His name is Periwimple. He's been the proprietor of the general store for as long as I can remember. But I do know he's one of the soulless. I mean, you can tell just by looking at his face. No emotion, no life. It's just ugh.
How many soulless would you say are in this little town?
Well, it's not just this town. It's all of Ravenloft. And it's estimated that maybe 2/3 of everyone that's born here is soulless.
Soulless. That is an interesting choice of words.
She looks at you funny. Like, it's not an interesting choice of words. The man literally has no soul.
Mcpherson will take notes.
How exactly does one come by no soul?
She kind of shrugs, and she continues. Well, it's luck of the draw. Some people, whenever a child is born, there is a chance that it's just an empty shell, a husk. It doesn't matter what your parentage is. Soulless have been born to parents that both have souls, and children with souls are born to soulless parents as well. A lot of us believe that the soulless are a physical manifestation of Strahd's ego. that he creates people because he needs them to continue to procreate so he can have nourishment. Otherwise, the finite number of people within Ravenloft, he would eventually gut them all and would starve. Although, honestly, it's just superstition. Nobody knows why they really started.
Very interesting idea. I'll start making notes about all the theories and stuff as well.
So these soulless, are they dangerous in nature, or are they pretty well docile?
They are nothing. Like, you saw the man in there. The soulless just kind of exist. They don't feel happiness. They don't feel joy. The only emotions I've ever seen a soulless to actually show is fear and pain. And eventually you can teach them to do a job, to be useful. Periwinkle here mans the store, and because he doesn't feel greed, he's actually quite an efficient shopkeep. I do believe that Alenk Mirabelle at the tavern is soulless as well, and a great number of others. Generally, if you just leave them alone, they don't cause any trouble, but looking at them is it's a constant reminder that there is no escape for anybody who lives here.
Pardon me for asking, but do you know of the Vistani?
What of the Vistani?
Yes, are they also soulless?
No, actually, the Vistani, none of them are soulless. Some people believe that they are cursed, and that even Strahd won't dare touch them, and they're immune from his magics. Others will say that they work with Strahd, that they serve the devil, and that is why they all have souls, and there's even rumors that they are able to cross the mist.
How is it a curse that they're not affected by any of this?
You would see, well, anybody looking would see Arius' eyes light up a little bit when they say that they're able to cross the mists, and he starts scribbling notes furiously.
Okay.
If they're immune, then it may be best if we visit the Vistani before we leave this area.
It would very well, it could very well be of use to us. The Vistani, in addition to purportedly being able to cross through the mists, they are known to be powerful seers and magicians. Maybe they can help us on our journey. And I actually think that as we passed through Tensor Lake, I think it's on the way to Kresk. So we actually won't lose any time either.
Well, that certainly sounds ideal. Then perhaps we should make for the Vistani camp.
Okay. As you guys are coming to this conclusion that you're gonna head for the Vistani camp, you see something strange. Nope, wrong one. You see an eerie green light. Nope, not that one. We already did that one. Just a test. See if anyone's still alive. You hear the sound of small wooden wheels rolling across the damp cobblestones that line the street. Eventually, you look up and you trace the sound of the wheels to a hunched figure bundled in rags, pushing a rickety wooden cart through the fog on the streets. And there's a picture of the beautiful girl. As she's pushing this cart through the streets, you see several Barovians coming up to her, and then you can't quite hear what's being said, but you see them handing over coins, and then she hands them small bundles, right? And then she, after the person walks away, she continues going on, and then she, makes a couple more stops. It looks like she's selling things off her cart, and then she is headed in your direction.
I don't trust anything here.
As she approaches, I ask Irina and Ismark, what does this lady sell?
They look up, and they kind of shrug. I don't know. I've never seen her before. To be fair, though, I don't leave the house often for fear of what Strahd may do.
I understand. I will head over to the cart and have a look. Approach the woman as a Good day, madam.
Okay, and she looks up. She's, "Oh, hello, dearie. How can I help you? Would you like one of Morgantha's wonderful dream pastries?"
Dream pastries?
Oh, yes. They are a delightful, delectable dessert that are only available from me. They are all the rage in the city.
I'll have a quick look.
Okay, and you look on her cart, and you see that the bundles that she was giving out to people, she unwraps one and kind of shows it to you, and it looks like a small pie, and it looks like about the size of like a pot pie. It's not like a full size thing, just enough for like one serving, and they look good, man. They smell good, and they're on a sheet, and it looks like clean, even though she does not.
Okay, so I would say, well, they do look and smell delicious. However, I find myself a little short of coin. But perhaps next time...
Her face immediately changes, and she's like, "Well, then why are you bothering me? Come on, I have a job to do."
I have coin. How much are they?
They are 1 gold piece a piece. It is quite a steal. The dream pastries, they are euphoric. They offer you an escape from the misery and despair of everyday Barovian life.
I'll take 5.
Oh, wonderful, dearie, wonderful. Here you go. And she takes your pastries and starts wrapping them in a cloth and holds out her hand for the coins.
Yay, I give her 5 coins.
And she gives you 5 dream pastries.
I will look over the cart and ask for 2 myself.
Okay. She wraps them up and hands them out to you, and she kind of is bowing the whole time. "Thank you, dearies. Thank you. Old Morgantha's gonna treat herself to a bottle of wine tonight."
Yeah, Mcpherson will take 2 as well.
Okay. All right. As she's handing them out to Mcpherson, she kind of looks at you. She's like, "Is there anything else I can do for you?"
No, thank you, madam. I think I have what I need now.
Okay, well, I will be off then. Many customers to see today.
I'll ask her, so what exactly is your route that you are taking?
Oh, I just go through every street in town, just hawking my wares, and then I will return home to my tower outside of the city. If ever you're near, make sure you stop on by. You can't miss it. It's an abandoned windmill off to the northwest, just off the main road.
Surely it cannot be abandoned if you live there.
Oh, well, not in the literal sense. It was abandoned before I claimed it, me and my sisters.
And which direction was that in?
To the northwest.
Then perhaps if I find myself in possession of some coin, I may stop by and purchase one of your pastries.
Okay. And she continues to walk on down the street.
And which direction in town are we heading after here?
You would be exiting to the west.
Okay.
Currently, she is headed off to the east. Like, she met you guys going this way.
Okay, cool.
So are we ready to head off?
I am.
Yes. It's better that we try not to waste too much time.
Okay. Okie dokie. Give me a second. Organize my notes again. Archive. Delete. Okay, so leaving town, let's head to the world map, shall we? Archive. Archive, we'll leave that there in case you guys decide to go back for no reason. Okay. So let us find us on the map. There we are. Okay. So remember that yellow token represents the party's current location, and it takes roughly 30 minutes to travel 2 hexes, right? However, even though the distance is not that great, Ravenloft is extremely hostile. So every 2 hexes is a roll on the random encounter table. Okay? The random encounter table, which I will be pulling up now. Which I will be... Nope, that's not it. Where the hell did I put it? Lay of the land. Suck a duck. Where'd I hide it? Random encounters. I moved it up to the top so I could find it easier, and I forgot it was there. Okie dokie. Slash GR 1D12 plus 1. Okay. So, you guys are gonna head out, right? You go 30 minutes in, and okay. As you are walking along the main road, you see there is something laying face down in the dirt. It's very obviously a human. But you can't quite get a good look at it from your current position.
I will draw my sword and walk closer.
That was supposed to be hidden. Okay, as you walk closer, the body it's not like a zombie or an undead or anything. It's just a dead person. However, you can see that the body has been mangled and mauled. It's been ripped to shreds. There are great big gashes where the flesh has been completely stripped away, and there is even parts of the body that are currently missing. The one of the arms is gone from the elbow down, and there's other portions where it seems like there are chunks that have been removed.
Another victim of the savage beasts of the land. We had best be careful and travel warily.
Sorry, mine was wandering. What was the cause?
You don't know the cause. I mean, you just
okay.
yeah. You walked up. You see it's this body. It's been mauled.
I mean, I'll make a medicine check to see if I can figure out what it was. I mean, it looks like it's been mauled by whatever savage beasts are around.
All right. Anybody interested in examining the body further? You can do a medicine or perception check. Either will work for me.
Okay, well, I rolled an 8 on a medicine check.
Yeah, I saw. You're like, I don't know what it is, but it's big.
Yep.
Assuan, you examine it. You're able to determine that it's you make it out to be some kind of large dog, whereas Mcpherson, when you look at it, you're able to pinpoint exactly. It wasn't a dog, it was a wolf. And it's a little confusing because from the length of the wounds, from the positioning of the body, it looks like it is not just any wolf, but one that would be roughly the size of a bear.
Oh no.
Could I possibly tell the time of such an assault?
Absolutely. Body's been dead for a day at the most.
I say we should keep on moving.
It seems to be that this poor chap has been dead for maybe a day, but whatever got him wouldn't be around here, I don't think. Or wouldn't stick around anyway.
Okay. So, we're going to keep moving then. And as you continue, you come upon the river. The river flows as clear and blue as the sky on a sunshiny day. And Ismark and Irina identify it as the River Ivlis. As you are walking by, you hear a rustling in the bushes, followed by several human voices. Shh, quiet, they'll hear. Shh.
I am going to pull out my greatsword.
Yep, I'll ready my shield and my book.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. And wait a minute. Where's my daytime road? Is it way back here? Alright, it doesn't matter. Okay. And let me put you guys onto the map. You, let me archive you because I don't need you anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our teeny tiny party today. So, you guys are walking along, right? I know the map is dark. It's daytime. Shut up. You're walking along. You hear rustling in the bushes, and you guys pull out your weapons. Go ahead, roll initiative while I get the rest set up. One, two, three, 4. Okay. So here's what's gonna happen, right? So the one guy makes noise, the other guy tells him to shut up. Assuan notices, pulls out his weapon, and then these guys recognize the jig is up. So they come barreling out of the bushes, right? And let me check your guys' vision. Make sure everybody can see. Like, see, Kriv is blind. Why is Kriv blind? Oh, because this map has it dark out. Let me fix that real quick, like. There you go. Everybody can see.
Yay.
All right. So these guys come charging out of the woods, right? And they are all big hulking men, and they're carrying battle axes that are stained crimson with blood. The blood is caked onto the blades, but some of it is dripping red and fresh. And then on their bodies, they when I say they're caked in mud, I mean like it's literally like an inch thick from head to toe, and there's sticks and leaves that are kind of like poking out of it. But they just come rushing out of the woods towards you, and they are gonna go first. All right, let's go ahead. Sadness. So they rush out of the woods, and then they are just gonna dash for their action, and they run up and they get all around you. They're just all up in your grill, right? And you can see they're standing in front of you, and they're menacing. They're brandishing their weapons, and they start shouting at you at this language that you don't comprehend. And then they're pointing to the ground, like they're gesturing. They want you to get on your knees. Assuan, it is your turn.
You do not command me, and one right below me.
Okay, so 14 attack. This guy right below you. It's gonna hit. I was gonna say, I swear to God, I just had their sheet open. All right. Finished then?
Yes.
All right. Next, Mcpherson.
Drawing a weapon, is that a free action or a bonus?
Everybody gets one free interaction with an object on their turn. So drawing your weapon is your free one. That's the way we always run it.
Oh, okay. Mcpherson will draw his rapier out of his cane and try to strike, or attempt to strike the one just north of him.
Okay, that is a miss.
I would say so.
Alright, Kriv?
Right, Kriv is going to use his longsword and attack the one that's like right in the center of all of us.
It's a hit.
And then that'll be it.
Alrighty. Arius.
So Arius will kind of wave his hand over his book as the pages fly across and light starts to emanate from it. And he says, "You are all making a grave mistake, but you will learn the error of your ways." And he will cast Spiritual Weapon. And I will put it right there, in between me and Assuan.
Okay. What form does it take? You get to choose.
We'll take the form of a hammer.
Yee. Bop. All right.
And sorry, the attack will be against this guy.
Sure.
That
Sure.
also already attacked.
All right. It's a hit.
Okay, so that's a bonus action, and with my action, I'm going to cast Acid Splash. So again, pages flick through my book as a glob of acid shoots out and tries to splash across the two of these.
Sure. So go ahead and roll it. DC 13 Dex. 1, 2, both fail. Okay. And finished.
Yep, that's the end of my turn.
The Berserkers are going to take their turn now. And all of them, you see all of them, they before they take their action, right, they all just start like beating on their chest. And from there, it continues to progress from just like kind of pounding on their chest to where they're actually like punching themselves in their chest, then their face, and they're whipping themselves up into a frenzy. And after which they all begin a barrage of attacks against the party. Now these are very reckless attacks, and they're just kind of swinging very, very hard and wide. So they will all have advantage on their attacks, but then also attacks against them will have advantage until the start of their next turn. So first one is going to try and take a swing at Assuan, this guy up here. Assuan, is that a hit?
Yes, it is.
Take 11. Next guy, gonna try and hit Mcpherson. Take 12. Next guy attacking Kriv. Take 4. And then the last guy attacking Arius. 15 is a miss.
That's a miss.
Alrighty. Assuan.
I'm gonna attack the one below me again.
Remember, you have an advantage. That is, wait, why'd you roll twice?
Didn't mean to.
Okay. 21 is a hit for 15. As you cut him, right, you see the blood begins to gush from his wound, and his reaction is very alarming. Instead of like, retreating back or wincing at the new wound, you see him grab it, and he starts smearing the blood in with the mud that is covering his body. And as he does, he's just kind of looking you in the face. Are you finished? Okay. Mcpherson.
I will attempt to strike it again, I suppose.
With advantage this time. Okay, he remembered. Critical. For 9. Anything else?
Just that and that. 20, I think.
Yeah, there we go.
Sneak attack will be doubled as well.
Yeah.
Do you want me to roll it again, or do you just double
No,
it?
Yeah, you can roll it again. It's 3d6. It could potentially be higher.
Oh wait, you know what?
It was higher.
Yeah, go ahead and take that. But I'm gonna
5,
look up
6.
something real quick.
7, 8, 6. My brain hurts. 7, 9. No. 9,
33.
20, 30. Yeah, thank you. It's because it broke at 7 plus 2. My brain kept going 72. I swear I'm not dyslexic, guys.
Sorry, I forgot to change my sneak attack dice. It's still rolling a 3d6, and it's only supposed to be 2d6.
Oh,
But I
right.
just changed it now back.
It's okay. So it's actually So 5 damage less. He's still dead. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Alright, after that, Kriv?
I'm just continuing slashing with my longsword on the center one.
That's a hit.
And that'll be it.
Alright, Arias?
Okay, so first of all, spiritual weapon's going to attack the center one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to flip open my book and blow as a cloud of poison shoots into him as well. My damage rolls are trash.
It's still damage. Finished?
That's true. Yep, finished.
Alright. The Berserkers are going to take their turn again. And same as with Assuan, you see them, as you continue to hurt them, they become more and more frenzied. And they will continue their reckless assault. Assuan? I know, right, Den? Assuan take 12? Yes. And then Kriv? That's a miss. And then Arias. 10?
Yeah, that's a hit.
Alright. Assuan.
To the one below me. But she doesn't want. I am going to use Titan Grip.
Okay. You want to link it in chat so everybody knows what the heck you're talking about?
Yeah, I just.
Alrighty.
Okay, so I'll attack him.
23. That's a hit.
And then I'll attack him with that.
Also a hit. And then let me see that con save. Not with advantage. So 17 is a fail. You have 1 level of exhaustion. Alright. Mcpherson.
Alright, so these guys are pretty much big brutes, right?
Yep.
How tall are they?
Average size. You know,
Just normal human?
6 foot. Yeah.
Alright. I will strike the one next to the one I struck before.
Okay. With advantage. Holy shit. Yeah, with advantage because they all use reckless attack again. So another crit from Mcpherson.
God damn, dude.
I know.
Wow.
You don't even have to roll your sneak attack. It's dead.
Damn it.
Yeah. Okay, you can roll the dice if you want. I mean, it's...
I might just roll a bunch of ones.
No, that's still a ton of damage.
Not even gonna count it.
Alright. He's doing a lot of damage with that, with that cane sword.
Alright, so, like, when these two brutes collapse, you know, one after the other within short succession, I'm assuming I see a floating hammer between the frogman and the bald dude.
You do. And just to paint the picture accurately, remember, spiritual weapon is not like you don't physically manifest. No, it's like ethereal energy in the shape of a hammer, just floating there.
So it's like a blue, glowy, see-through, hammer-shaped object.
Sure. Yeah.
Alright, I'll see that, and I'll be like, I'll try to like blink and see if that fixes, and maybe there's something that's wrong with my vision, or the light's hitting me in the wrong way. But that's my turn.
All right, Kriv.
All right, Kriv is going to move. Give me a second. To here. Let's go one more up. And then I'm going to use my breath weapon. Going.
Okay.
More like diagonally this way.
Okay.
If I can.
Is it a
Or if I...
is it a 15-foot cone?
No, it is a straight line. So I'm not sure.
From the square you're in, I don't know if that is possible, right? Because it's
Okay.
not just a straight line. It's got a width to it too, doesn't it? Isn't it like 5 foot wide by 15 feet long?
Yeah.
So
5 foot wide by 30 feet.
Yeah. So if you tried to like finagle it this way to get both of them, you're hitting Arius too.
Oh no, I fully expected to hit Arius too.
Okay, all right.
No.
If you're cool with that, then go ahead and use that breath weapon. I like it.
So it's for, let's see, 2d6, but a spell save DC of.
Oh, did I not?
11.
No, I didn't. I'm clicking things on accident. Here, let me format that for you. Okay, so breath weapon, and it's no to hit. Damage is, what is it? 2d6?
Yeah, 2d6.
2d6 lightning. Not plus strength. That'd be OP. Saving throw, and it's 8 plus con plus proficiency. Is it dex save? Dex save. Dex versus
Yep.
con. Save effect. Half damage. And then let's click it to make sure I did it right. DC 11.
Yep.
8. Okay, cool. There we go. Now, do you want to roll it since I did it? I know.
I'm good with that roll. That's fine.
Okay, so 5 damage for the 2 berserkers and Arius DC 11 dex save, please. Bam, bam. 1 fail from my berserker and
I fail as well.
fail from Arius. So Arius and the berserker are taking 5, and then the other guy is taking a little bit less. All right, finished.
That'll be it.
As my reaction, can I go prone?
Sure. Yeah. Use your
I just
reactions.
want to like jump back because you know this dinosaur man just shot lightning.
Yeah,
out of
just
his
shot
face.
lightning out of his face, right? Oh! All right, Arius.
I will turn to Kriv. What the hell are you doing? Cannot be shooting lightning bolts at your comrades. Be more careful. And I will cast Cure Wounds at first level on myself. Yay. And then I'll use my spiritual weapon. I'll use my spiritual weapon to attack the guy above, between me and Assuan.
Wow. Okay. So, finished after that?
Yep, that's my turn.
All right, the 2 berserkers now. First one, I keep moving the sheet and then I lose it. He is going to attack Assuan. Assuan takes 7. And then the second one, he is going to, after taking that hit, he is going to step away from Arius towards Kriv. So Arius, you get to make an attack of opportunity.
I would, but I have no weapons to make an attack of opportunity with.
You can do an unarmed strike. Just punch him in the back of the head. Don't you run away from me.
just try and kick him.
Sure. And just roll a d20. We'll figure it out, right? Okay, so definitely a miss. All right, so he walks up to Kriv and Kerchop, and he misses too. All right, Assuan, it is going to be your turn. Remember, you are exhausted. Oh, no, that's a save throw. Saves are level 3.
Okay.
A heal for 1 Arius from a benevolent Twitch god. That's so nice.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's his turn. Mcpherson?
I'm going to use my eye for detail to make a bonus action of perception. I'm not going to bother rolling it because he's using it to look for a mirror or a series of mirrors that are projecting light to create this phony hammer in the air.
Okay.
But other than that, he's going to stay prone, but he's going to just drop his rapier and draw the hand crossbow and just shoot some, probably the one over by Kriv.
Okay. You go ahead and roll that. While he is, a couple heals coming in. 7 for Arius, 1 for Assuan. Okay, and that crossbow attack is a hit. And then are you finished?
Yeah, sorry. That's my turn.
Alright, Kriv.
Well, now that I got one of their attentions, I'm going to use my long sword straight on him.
Oh, alright.
And then that'll be it.
Another heal for 1 from the benevolent Twitch gods for Assuan. You do that like 30 more times, he'll have some decent hit points. Alright, Arius, what are you doing?
Okay, so I am going to move over to here. My spiritual weapon is going to try and attack the guy above me, and actually it's with advantage still, I assume. So there you go. 24 to hit for 9, and then I will use another first level cure wounds on Assuan.
Alright, and Assuan, I am updating your hit points. There you go. You are at 14.
Well, I set it up before you did it.
Huh?
I shouldn't be at 14.
Yes, you should, because there is another heal for 6 from Twitch gods.
Never mind though.
Yeah, they just weren't satisfied with leaving you there dying. I don't know what you did to make them like you, but alright, Berserkers. We're gonna attack Kriv and Arius. You guys are the most annoying right now. Kriv, Arius, looks like both hit.
Yep.
Alright, so Kriv 7, Arius 4. And then Assuan, you get to pick yourself up and take a turn.
Yay. Since I got knocked down, would that remove my exhaustion, or does that stay there?
Oh, no, that doesn't ruin exhaustion. What?
Okay.
No, you're definitely still exhausted.
Okay, I'm super tired. Okay, I'm gonna put my pike away and slash with my greatsword. Oh,
Hit.
that's it.
Go on. Don't be scared. Alright, Mcpherson.
Mcpherson will crawl on his back a couple of feet, and he'll shoot the same person he did last time.
Okay. Okay. That is a miss.
That's fine with me. That is my turn.
Alright, Kriv?
Alright, just going from the longsword strike.
Another hit for 5.
That'll be it.
Right. Get out of here. Arius.
Okay, spiritual weapon again. Helps if I spell spiritual weapon properly, doesn't it? I'll roll again, just
Spiritual.
just in case I crit. Yeah.
You did not, so hit for 10 since that was your first roll.
Okay, sure. And I will Sacred Flame. Actually, no, Poison Spray. The guy in front of me.
Ew. I can't
Cloud
stop
of
yawning,
poison in
man.
the face.
So tired. 15. So that's still a pass.
Yep, still a pass.
Alrighty. Berserker. Oh god. No, now I have that stupid song. Only cool people know what song it is that I'm referencing. Alright, anyway. I definitely can't sing it though, because my son's on the line. And my wife will hit me. Berserker! They're gonna hit Arius and Kriv again. In that order. Kapow, kapow. Oof. Oof.
Ouch.
Yep. So 14 Arius.
Ooh.
And then 11 to Kriv. That's that good old KO. Oh, what?
For real.
Alrighty. Assuan.
Am I able to move past his spiritual weapon?
Yes. I believe it is an incorporeal object. Even if it wasn't, you can move through friendly units. Remember?
Okay. I'm going to move right here and let him take an attack of opportunity.
Smack.
And then I'm going to tighten grip on the guy next to me.
Alright, make your attacks. 18, 22, both hit.
That was just for the one I didn't attack. I forgot to have it down.
You dingus. Okay. 14, 24, 25, 27. It's another fail. You have 2 levels of exhaustion.
That is my turn.
Alright, Mcpherson.
Movement's only half when you're prone, right?
Yes. To stand up? Or you mean in general?
So I think standing up is the same too, isn't it?
Standing up will cost you half your movement. Trying to move while prone, like crawling, it would be considered difficult terrain, so double movement. It's essentially the same.
So it'd be like 15 feet for a normal 30 if prone, if crawling.
Right, or 15 feet if you stand up and then walk. Heal Kriv for 9 from Den Ryoku. Kriv, you're too nice. Literally too nice. Let him suffer. Remember, Chris Perkins did say I had to kill characters. And one of the creators of D&D says you need to kill people. You have to listen. Alright, crossbow, is that here next to Kriv again?
Yeah, same one.
Okay, and the Berserker takes the crossbow bolt and falls to the ground.
That's what he'll do for now.
Okay, Kriv.
One, two, there we go. Trying to find my character sheet again. Alright, so I'm going to stand up, and then at this point I'm just going to use an Eldritch Blast on the one.
It's only one remaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a hit.
And then as a bonus action,
I don't know what you said. Or curse. You're gonna curse the guy. Got it. Alrighty. Arius.
I guess I wouldn't know what stat he has disadvantage to. Oh no, it's Hex first. Sorry, I thought it was Hex. Never mind. Yep. So I will attack with my spiritual weapon. First of all.
Advantage.
Yep.
If you
And then-
toggle advantage on your sheet, it just doesn't give it to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot it.
Okay. And then your action for the turn?
My action for the turn, I will cast Cure Wounds on myself again. In fact, no, I'll try and finish this guy off. I'm gonna hit him with a poison spray. Oh God,
You
I should have gone
chose
with a cure.
poorly. Alrighty. And he met the save. Alright, the Berserker again. He is really not liking all that stuff that you're doing, so he's gonna try and smack you, Arius. And smack you he does.
Yep,
Alright.
and 0.
Spiritual weapon concentration?
No, it's not.
Does
It
it
just lost
persist if you're unconscious?
No, I don't think it says. It just says that I conjure it for 10 rounds. I'll double check though.
I'm already checking myself. Next turn, Assuan. Okay, no. So it does persist, but you can't do anything with it because you're unconscious.
Yep.
So it's just kind of floating there.
I'm gonna put my pike away and slash it with the grease.
Okay. That is a hit. Where is he? Alright, and he goes down. He's dead. You did it, guys. I'm so proud of you.
I'm really tired.
Alright. So why don't we clear the tracker? Eventually I'll get all my macros set up again.
Can I search them?
Search the Berserkers?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no reason you couldn't. Looking through all the Berserkers' pockets, you kind of have to dig through the curtain of mud that they've surrounded themselves with. But you eventually find small leather pouches that are attached to their belts.
I will look through them.
Okay. Opening these pouches, you find a collection of teeth, what appear to be finger bones from various humanoid creatures. A combined total of like 13 gold. And a very fresh severed human ear.
Oh.
Was there more to that statement? You kind of cut off.
No, that was it. Well, I'll give everyone else 3 gold.
Did Mcpherson notice that he had picked up a freshly dismembered ear?
Pick it up.
No, yeah, he left the ear in the pouch. He just took the gold pieces.
Kriv is going to walk up to Arius and use Lay on Hands for 5 points.
Okay.
Yay.
What would you guys like to do now? Right? You seen this ambush coming as you were crossing past the bridge. Still a long way to go, and you've traveled all of 2 hours? I think is the distance. Here, I'm moving you back
Yep,
to
I believe so.
moving you back to the main map. Yep, about 2 hours. What would you like to do now?
Perhaps we should take a moment to rest before continuing on.
So right now, let's say it's like 10 a.m., right? You woke up first light, you dicked around town for a while, you've traveled a couple hours. It's like 10 a.m. So, you guys want to take a short rest or a long rest?
I say we continue a little farther and then we rest.
Well, I think I personally would recommend a short rest.
I agree with the short rest, only since some of the individuals are still hurt.
Okay, then let us rest.
Alright. Go ahead and roll your hit dice. Does, what are you? Your knowledge domain?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Arcana domain.
Arcana domain. Do Arcana domain, do they have a trait that lets them recover slots on a short?
No.
No.
But I can spend spell slots to heal. No, not spell slots. Sorry, hit dice.
To heal yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as normal. Yeah.
No, I didn't know. I know the knowledge domain. They get a feature almost like the druid, where they get a couple slots on a short. I didn't know if anyway. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yes.
Exhaustion is only healed on a long
rest.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to spend time resting, and you need to eat and drink. That is a thing. I know we always just kind of assume that you guys, break into your rations and water during the break.
Are we still at the same place that we fought those guys?
Yeah, you guys didn't advance any. You just break camp and sit there. In a related note, I had that sitting in my thing. Since you guys are taking a rest, you get 450 experience. That levels you up. You can go ahead and apply that now. And then the text about removing exhaustion, Assuan, is there in the chat. Yeah, it doesn't remove all of it, just removes one level. Well, you guys are applying that levels you. Okay, so while you level up, the rest of you roll your hit dice, recover, blah blah blah. I'm gonna go hit the head. I'll be right back.
Is everyone else here?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, Mcpherson is still looking for them mirrors.
Crazy.
And he'll say, did anyone else see that hammer-looking thing floating in the air?
Yes.
Yes, it was me that conjured it. Did you not see me cast the spell?
Conjured. Interesting. It's a very
What?
good strategy for using whatever methods and having the whole plot set out here in this exact location.
What are you talking about?
Do not know what you mean. You see, the spell is one where I create the image of a weapon that I see in my mind, and I use the weapon to attack, and the magical force damages the person that it hits. As you could see, when the hammer struck, it caused significant damage to the target.
That is interesting. And he says, "You over there," and he's looking at Assuan. He says, "I was under the impression that perhaps you were a poor chap who suffered a birth defect. But you really are a frog, aren't you?"
Okay. He was going to use the bathroom.
What did you say?
I said, "I thought you were a poor chap that suffered a birth defect, but you really are a frog, aren't you?"
Just kind of gives you a death stare.
As I said, he is what is known as a bullywug. My friend over there, Kriv, is what is known as a dragonborn.
Mcpherson will go over to Kriv and use his cane to kind of hold Kriv's face. And he'll say, how did you manage to pull lightning out of your mouth?
While you are having this conversation, you see a very strange sight. A human-sized, vulture-like creature is flying towards the party from the direction of Barovia. Squawking all the way, shouting, for you guys to wait up and let him catch up.
Oh, hey, Fester.
Mcpherson pulls out his hand crossbow.
Hey! Put the crossbow down.
Ah, you are going to bug out on me. Matters not. I hear now. Let us go.
What sort of mad science has brought you all to be this way?
Mad science.
Yeah, and Assuan just kind of stares him in the eyes.
Okay. So, Fester, as you fly up to the group, you can see that they're only a couple hours outside of Barovia. They haven't traveled very far at all. And the party is currently taking a rest, and you see where they are currently sitting, it's just carnage everywhere. There are several, barbarian-looking people that are laying on the floor dead, and the party appears to have taken heavy damage.
Must be a Tuesday. Okay, then Fester simply waddles up to camp and starts making his nests for the night.
It's currently like 10 o'clock.
Oh.
I guess 11 o'clock, right? Because we took a short rest. It's like an hour. So it's still midday. They're just taking a breather while they recover from their fight.
Oh, okay. Well, then I just fall in line with him, or whatever.
Okay.
With so many strange oddities all of a sudden, coming out of nowhere, Mcpherson doesn't have the time for it. Right now, he just wants to investigate the bodies of the fallen that we had killed.
Yep. Definitely killed.
There's an ear in one of their pockets, so...
Mcpherson will say, under his breath, cannibals.
Could have just been a trophy.
Maybe. Alright, would you guys like to continue?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna travel you another hour down the road, and then we're gonna make another roll.
By the way, that river, was it flowing down or up? I'm assuming down, but...
Yes, it's flowing down from north to south. That's not my ruler. In that direction.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay. Oh, I remember now. What? Oh, that's why there's an errant space. Fourth time's the charm. 11. Okay. As you guys are traveling down the road, you notice that there is something in the distance. It's maybe about 20 feet away and about 30 feet up in the air. And it's trailing behind the party. But no matter what pace the party walks at, this thing maintains the distance, and it's definitely following you.
Fester, fly up to it.
Fester's kind of pooped from his journey, so instead he just screams out to it, "Piss off!"
As you shout, the thing is clearly startled, and it flies up into the air, and you can see that it's a bird. A black bird. Possibly a raven or a crow? Maybe?
Is it abnormal in size?
No, it looks, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a normal sized bird.
Hey, and I kind of nudge Mcpherson. Shoot it.
I have no need for such things.
It could be a spy.
Okay.
Birds as spies? Such nonsense.
You're looking at a frog, a dragonborn, and a giant bird. And you're saying that this bird as a spy could be nonsense.
You know what? You've proved your point. I shoot the bird.
Okay. What is the distance on a hand crossbow?
Is it 120?
60, 120, or is it...
It's 30, 120, so it'll probably be a disadvantage.
You're right, because he's 20 feet away and 20 feet up. That's 40 feet straight line. So 9 is a miss.
Perfectly fine with me. He didn't say kill it.
I wanted you to just shoot it so it'd fall.
Oh, it said it on the thing right there, 3120. See, I knew that, Disco. It was, and I don't know if you're ready for this. That was a test. That was a test. Just making sure you guys knew that it showed the range on a ranged attack right there, you know?
Yeah, sounds legit to me.
Yeah. All right.
Was that a trust test?
You learn a little something every day.
My hand crossbow has a range of 120 feet at short range.
All right. So you shoot at the bird. It flies away, and that's all. That's all. Just a bird.
Come, let us continue. Perhaps it is following us in hopes of finding food, or perhaps Festa's presence attracts it.
Okay.
Me attract Poppycock.
As you continue down the road, you see another corpse lying in the road.
Is this one also mauled to death?
It's, you're gonna have to get closer to look.
I'll
Sure.
move closer.
Okay. Moving in to examine the body, the first thing that stands out to you is the corpse has a bright orange-hued skin.
Is it a frog?
It does appear to be short in stature and has very amphibian-like features. But
Does he have
it's face down on the ground, so it's hard to confirm one way or another.
Does he have a sword on him?
No, you don't see any weapons or equipment. Just a body laying in the road.
I will turn.
I'll move up and do a medicine check on it.
Okay. remember, it like I said, it's laying face down on the ground. So are you just gonna kind of walk up and keep your distance and try to get a look, or I mean, paint me a picture here.
So I'll walk up to it. If I can see any obvious signs of markings and damage and stuff on it, I'll make note of them. But I will try and
so first, then, since you said you're looking for markings, perception check. Right, approaching the body with the way it's positioned face down on the ground, you don't see any visible wounds or markings.
Okay, so then I would turn it over and check for signs of life.
Okay. As soon as you turn the corpse over and lay it on its back, you notice that it is an exact mimic of Assuan. I mean, down to the smallest spot on his skin, it is exactly the same. Also, as you turn the body over, its flesh begins to bubble and melt away, leaving only a skeleton.
For a minute, I thought it was Griganos.
Also, what is this?
It's me. I don't know. It's me with laying in the road, dead. I'm dead.
Except you are here with us.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to make sense of this.
Perhaps it is the magic of this land playing tricks on us.
It is possible that it is some form of illusion.
Let's not think about it. Let's keep going.
Mcpherson will say, "There is a logical explanation for anything. What do you find, Doctor?" Looking at Arius.
No, I am no doctor, but perhaps it is some form of illusion or conjuration, one with a limited amount of time.
I don't think it's an illusion, considering it's melting.
After the flesh melts away, there is very much still a corpse on the ground. It is simply a skeleton and the rags that are covering its body, but you can touch it. It is very much real.
Okay. So not an illusion. This is most interesting. I start making a few notes and measuring the sort of the bones up against sort of just by eye. And I don't have like a tape measure or anything like that, but by eye, measuring up the bones compared to what I estimate Assuans would be like and things like that, and scribbling some more notes down about the comparisons and possible reasons why.
Do an investigation check for me.
Sure.
All right. Looking at the bones and like comparing the size to Assuan, you can determine the body is the same height as Assuan. This is a very small, stout person. But when you look at the bone structure, it is not a bullywug. It just looks like a regular human skeleton.
What?
Now this is most strange. The bones match those of a human frame. Short in stature, yes, but a human frame and not so much of a bullywug.
Like a dwarf?
No,
Perhaps.
a dwarf would have a dwarven skeleton.
So this is definitely a human skeleton.
Maybe a child skeleton? Yeah.
Child? What?
Well, you're only, what, 3 feet tall?
I'm almost at 4.
Right. So it's a human. You can definitely determine these are human bones, but they're only 4 feet tall. So it's either a little person or a child.
Okay.
But it looks like demon. Attack it.
I think it's already dead.
Zombies are already dead.
When you say
No,
the skin
Zombies
melted,
are undead.
When I say the skin melted,
is it like a puddle, or is it completely gone? It's just nothing but a skeleton left.
there's nothing but a skeleton left and the rags that are covering it, right? And as far as the residue, we'll say that there's not a puddle, it's not like a liquid, but you can definitely see like a black stain on the ground where the skin melted.
Can I investigate that?
Sure. Touching the ground, even if it's not with your hand, you notice that it's not wet, it's not sticky, it just seems like the dirt and the grass that is in that area has been dyed black.
I don't want to be here any longer. Can we go?
Perhaps
Yes,
it is a conjurer making a meat puppet in the shape of Assuan to scare us. And then he shouts off into the wilderness, "Well, it won't work!"
Well, Fester, you got a corpse there if you want it.
He just waddles off and turns up his nose at it.
Okay.
No meat left on bones.
Mcpherson will say something along the lines of, it was probably just some sort of flesh-eating disease. They're prominent in the more jungle places in the world. And he'll start naming off places you've never heard of, obviously.
All right. After being weirded out by the corpse, you guys are going to continue walking down the road. By my estimate, it's about 2 p.m. now. No, 1 p.m. And as you are traveling, again, looking up in the sky, you now see a great number of things flying up in the air ahead of you.
Okay, and these great number of things, do they look like the bird that was following us before?
They're still a little far away. It's hard to tell.
I say we just
But as they are getting closer, you can see
Sure.
that they are not birds. Definitely not. They are bats, easily distinguished by their leathery wings flapping against the air. And you can see that your initial estimate was way off, as there's not just a couple of them. There are several swarms of them. They're practically so thick that it's like a giant cloud of flapping, screeching wings coming towards you. And
Ready my book.
oh yes, ready the book, do the thing. We move to this page, and then we roll initiative. Zoomed in too far.
Okay, while this is happening, Fester licks his beak and goes, lunchtime.
Oh dear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who didn't make it in the tracker? Kriv. Did he DC again? No. Maybe. I will add him to the tracker. We'll see if he comes back. Oh, there he is. Alright, Fester, it looks like you will have the first turn in combat.
Okay. I sort of fly into the air and swing my shovel at this nearest swarm of bats.
Okay. Let us say that all of the bats and now Fester are 20 feet up in the air for now. That's where they're currently hovering. And a 18 with the shovel. That is a hit. Alrighty.
And that's it for me.
Alright. Assuan.
So they're 20 feet in the air.
20 feet in the air. Big flapping cloud.
Dang it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw a hand axe at it.
Alright. Which one specifically?
What do you... One by Fest.
Okay. Alright. As the hand axe flies through the air, you see it hit several of the tiny creatures and they go plummeting to the ground.
Aha.
Mcpherson.
There's, yeah, I gotta be honest, I got excited when I noticed that there was a river, and then I realized there's no river.
No. Nope, it's just random map.
So, Mcpherson will just, grab his cane like he's gonna swing, and then hold his hat, and he's just doesn't really know what to do at this point.
Okay, so are you readying an action, or...
Yeah, if one comes near me, I'll just start swinging.
Okay, alright. It is the bat's turn now. So, they are going to move into position, swooping down to about 10 feet high, right? It'd be within arm's reach, but also where they can swoop in and try to bite and claw people. And we're going to go there. 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 I think that's all I got. Alright. And then the bats. We're going to start with this one here. The first one that is hurt is attacking Fester.
And that hits me.
Yep, so take 4. Next one attacking Assuan. Take 2. 2 on Arius. Miss and miss. And 1 on Kriv. Also a miss. Alright, Kriv, it is your turn.
Alright, did you say that the bats were within reach of us for melee at this point?
Yes, yeah, because they're like 10 feet up. So with your height and your arm's length, it's realistic that everybody except Assuan can probably hit them.
Okay. Then I will use the longsword at it.
All right, 11.
And that'll be it.
Arius.
Okay, so Arius will flip open his book to a page that starts spurting out acid at the 2 adjacent to him.
Pass and a fail. Oh,
And that would be my turn.
There we go. Fester.
He flies to right about here. And, hold on.
Oh, take another 4, Fester.
Oh, okay.
And then you can...
Okay, he flies up to right about here and casts Burning Hands on this swarm of bats here. But I'm trying to angle the cone so it doesn't hit Assuan or Mcpherson. Yeah, like...
I don't think you can do both. Like if you angle it here, like you'll miss Assuan but hit Mcpherson. If you angle it here, you'll hit Assuan and both swarms.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me I'm pretty sure that I have something for this. I do. Alright. So cones are kind of funny, right? But when you do a cone, it helps if I have the right tool. It originates from your square, and then it moves out like that, right? So if you were to do that here, I'm zoomed in too far. See, it'd be like that.
Okay.
Then
or instead I'll use Rave Sickness.
Hold on. Because there's also... See, there's two ways that you can draw a cone, right? There's diagonal and then there's straight ahead. So when you throw it diagonal, it's like 15 feet, 10, 15. Whereas if you throw it in a straight line, it's just 15 straight, and then, 10, 10. That's the best way to try and imagine it.
Okay.
If that'll help with positioning.
Alright. Well, in which case I think I'll just use Rave Sickness instead.
Okay. Let me get rid of these. And Ray of Sickness on the one closest?
Yep.
Alright. What is the secondary effect of Ray of Sickness? It's, what, they have disadvantage on strength checks or some stuff like that?
Well, let me see.
No, that's weakness or enfeeblement. Or
I think it's poisoned, so they have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Yeah, it is also poisoned until the end of your next turn.
Okay. Down on a hit makes a con save. If it fails, it's poisoned. Wait, so is that supposed to be a hit? Right? Make a ranged spell attack. Yeah, there was still supposed to be an attack roll. Which means, because the compendium's been messing up a lot, like spells that are supposed to roll saves not rolling saves, and now this is supposed to have both. It doesn't matter. Assuan, you can go ahead and take your turn. I figure
where
this
did
out.
my hand axe land
On
when I threw it?
the other side of... No, it says attack. There it is. Alright, let me try this again. There we go. That's what we wanted. Although now it says DC 10 instead of DC 14. Assuan?
I'm going to throw my hand axe at.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna-
9 is... I think it's a miss. It is a miss. What? Finished?
Yes.
Alright, Mcpherson?
Mcpherson will run this way and shoot something. He'll just aim at the cloud.
Alright, that is a hit.
I'm going for the poisoned one, I think. Yeah, poisoned one.
Okay.
Should I do sneak attack too?
It's not dead, so yeah. And now it is dead. So the bolt pierces through the air, hits several of the flying bats, and they fall to the ground. Alright, the bats are going to take their turns now. We have this one here next to Assuan, missing. This one over here by Kriv, also missing. And two up here by Arius. Alright. So they all just kind of chitter against your armor, doing nothing. It's a very good turn. Kriv?
Alright, I'm going to swing with the longsword again.
Another hit. And dead rats. Bats.
Alright, and then I will move up to here. And that'll be it.
Alright, Arius?
Okay, so the one that was injured by the acid, I'm going to blow a cloud of poison in their direction.
So you're hitting this guy. DC 13. So I hit the wrong button. Oof. Alright. Finished?
Yep, that's my turn.
Fester.
Okay, I'm going to swing my shovel into this cloud of bats.
Hit.
That is all.
Assuan.
Attack it.
More dead bats. Mcpherson.
I'll just run over here and line up a shot directly north.
It's a
Nope.
miss. And the bats again. See, we have two left. One up by Arya still. They're gonna continue their assault against you. They swarming around trying to bite at your exposed balding head. You just can't. Hey, there we go. A hit for 8.
Yeah, that one hit.
Alright, Kriv.
Alright, stab into one to the north.
And Arius.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to throw a glob of acid at the two of them again.
Okay. Alright. And back to Fester.
Okay. Flies over here, and hold on, let me see. Okay, he's going to cast a chill touch on the nearest swarm of bats.
Alrighty. That will hit and kill the last of that swarm.
That is all.
And then Assuan.
I'm going to dash and action surge and attack.
Wait. Why did you dash?
Half movement.
Oh,
Move.
exhausted.
Yeah.
All right. And then 21 for 15. And, all right. So as you swing your greatsword through the air, it's just like pummeling all the remaining bats. Just bop, 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 and then they all just slam into the ground.
Can I pick up my hand axes?
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes. Hand axes aren't like expendable ammunition. Like you go pick them up.
Okay.
All right. And Fester decides to comb the battlefield for a couple of juicy-looking dead bats and stuffs them in his sack to roast later.
Ooh-wee. Yeah, derp. Okay. Anybody need to do anything else, or just gonna continue?
I want to pick up a dead bat and examine it.
Okay.
I just want to figure out if they're poisonous, I guess, or maybe I know the type.
Okay. Looking the bat over, you identify them as vampiric bats. Not poisonous, not altogether uncommon either, but it's very strange how they came in a huge swarm in the middle of the day and attacked you. Being such a wise individual, you would know that is very unusual animal behavior.
But other than that, there's nothing abnormal about them. They're just regular old bats.
No,
just
bats.
their time of day is different.
Yep.
Fair enough. Are you doing it by encounter now for easierness?
Doing what?
The XP.
Everybody's different. It's, because some people miss some encounters, some people miss others. If everybody was the same, I would just do it at the end of the session. But they're
Gotcha.
yeah, like that one encounter we did, it leveled Kriv up. So eventually, when we get into the higher levels where it's going to take several sessions before it's relevant, then I'll do it at the end again. 4. Well,
So, shall we continue?
yes. As you guys continue down the road, you see yet another corpse laying in the middle of the road. This one has the appearance of a Aarakocra. It looks to be vulture. Same color and pattern as Fester. With this one, most of the feathers have been stripped away, and it just looks very emaciated and decaying, laying there in the middle of the road.
Maybe this is a sign about how we're all gonna die in this place.
Have faith, my friend. I do not think this place will kill us.
Just a cheap trick to scare us, and it does not work. Now Fester just hobbles on by it without giving it any more thought.
Okay. As you guys turn around the last bend, you can see a clearing up ahead, and there's a large lake on the eastern side, and ahead of you, you see a smattering of tents. And as you look ahead, you can see a couple things. We're gonna. One is that the tents are in a loose circle around a couple of caravans, and that there is a row of horses that are stabled and tied up near the lake. There's a campfire going, and there are several people all congregating around the campfire, and they can be seen with mugs in hands, and there's laughter and music. It's a very jarring scene after the grizzly travels along the road. Let me move you. Oh, I already did. And just for some perspective, here are what the people in the camp looks like.
So they kind of dress very similarly and act similarly to the women we met in the tavern.
Yes.
I believe this may be the camp that the women spoke of. The ones who invited us to stop by.
I don't like these people. Too cheery for everything.
As you approach, the road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through the trees. There are deep ruts in the earth that are evidence of the comings and goings from the wagons. There's a canopy of mist and branches that suddenly gives way to black clouds far ahead. And there's a clearing next to the river that forms a small lake several hundred feet across. There are 5 colorful tents, each roughly 10 feet in diameter, and pitched outside a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, and its sagging form is lit from within. Near this tent, you see the row of horses that I had mentioned earlier. As you approach, you can hear the mournful strains of an accordion clash with the singing of several brightly clad figures around the bonfire, and there is a path that continues beyond the encampment, meandering north between the river and the forest.
Perhaps we should stop in and say hello. They did offer us some respite from travel. Said we could perhaps impose upon their hospitality.
It may be a good idea, just in case they have any information that we may need along our path.
Okay. So, are you guys going to approach the camp?
Yes, I'd like to approach the camp.
All right. As you begin stepping forward, one of the men breaks away from the larger group, and as he approaches you, he has his arms out. He's very, very welcoming expression on his face. He's like, "Oh, hello, friends. Welcome, welcome. How, what brings you to our noble camp?"
Well, we were passing by this way on our way to another town, and we encountered a few young ladies who we believe are members of perhaps your camp or your group.
Were they beautiful? All of the Vistani are beautiful. Some of the finest women in all of Ravenloft. And all the men start to cheer and clap in agreement.
Oh, yes, I cannot help but agree there. And they suggested that perhaps we visit the camp and impose upon your hospitality.
He kind of looks down his nose at the five of you and he says, "Oh, really? Did they say of what? And why did they invite you to our humble abode?"
I believe it may have had something to do with the fact that we are not natives of this land.
Ah, I see. Well, you are welcome to join us. We are having our lunch here, and with it a hefty portion of ale. You're welcome to join us at the fire and tell us of your journey, please. And he kind of invites all of you to come in and take seats around the fire.
Sure, I'll step into the circle and look a seat.
At first, Fester kind of fishes around for a stick in the bushes that he can use to skewer a bat or two and roast them over the fire.
Okay, all right. And the Vistana, they just they don't really flinch at you roasting a bat on their fire. What about the rest of you? Are you just gonna join in, or?
I'm going to join in, but I'll be closer towards the entrance that we came into, just in case.
I'll join too.
Okay. So as you guys walk up, the man who invited you into the camp, he says, "Now, just shh. It is a Vistana tradition. We exchange stories and tales. It is a fun and amusing way to pass the time. Right now, our brother is giving us a tale, but then, please, you must share." And then he kind of sits down and gives attention to one of the other men. And you see him stand up, and he kind of like brushes himself off and smooths out his clothes. And then with a dramatic flair, he begins. "A mighty wizard came to this land over a year ago. I remember him like yesterday. He stood exactly where you stand," and he points at Fester. "A very charismatic man he was. He thought he could rally the people of Barovia against the devil Strahd, and as he does, he kind of puts his hands up to his head, makes like horns gesture. He stirred them with thoughts of revolt and bore them to the castle en masse. Well, would you believe it? When the vampire appeared, the wizard's peasant army fled in terror. A few stood their ground. They were never seen again. The wizard and the vampire cast spells at each other. Their battle flew from the courtyards of Ravenloft to a precipice overlooking the falls. I saw the battle with my own eyes. I stood at the base and looked up at these gods slinging spells and colorful rays across the sky. Thunder shook the mountainside. Great rocks tumbled down upon the wizard, yet he survived with his magic. Lightning from the heavens struck at Strahd, but he also stood his ground. But you could see a terrible shift as the devil tired of his game and came upon the wizard. The wizard magic was not enough to save him. I saw him thrown 1,000 feet to his death. I climbed down to the river, and I wanted to see for myself if anything had become of him, and maybe I wanted to have a look in his pockets. And all the other Vistana start to chuckle. When I arrived at the bottom, though, the wizard was gone, consumed by the river Iblis. And then at the end of the story, he kind of looks around and he gives a little bow. Thank you. And all the Vistana begin to clap. As he sits down, the rest of them start looking around. Another story.
Could I roll an insight check to see if he actually witnessed it? Or if he's just making it up?
Sure. Make an insight check. Alright. It is extremely difficult to get a read on him. You get a strong impression that there is truth to the story, but you also believe that he may be embellishing some parts for the sake of a more entertaining tale. The Vistani look around. Who is next? Who will give us a story? With nobody speaking up, another Vistani man is going to step forward. He says, I will tell you the tale. I will tell you of the heroes that weren't. And they all start clapping. Woohoo! I love this story! And he goes on. Centuries ago, well before any of us were here, and before our grandparents' grandparents walked the lands of Ravenloft, there was a group of heroes. Strange and wonderful they were. One of them half demon, with skin black as coal. Another one, a giant walking turtle, it was said. And many, many others. As they walked the land, they did a great number of amazing and wonderful deeds, until they thought that they too would be strong enough to take on Strahd. Some say that they were successful. History tells us otherwise. There is no way they could have possibly defeated the demon and him still be here today. So we know it is all but a legend, but it's a fun one nonetheless.
Maybe they were successful. Maybe Strahd was brought back.
Brought back? Boy, Strahd is eternal. He has never known the taste of death. Nor will he ever. To think otherwise would be folly.
Well, how do you know? What if he did die at one point and he was revived?
Who would revive him?
A greater evil?
Huh. I do not think you know of which you speak. Anywho, and he goes on with his story, talking about how these heroes once raided the legendary Amber Temple and acquired great wealths, and how those same treasures were eventually lost to time. He goes on. It's not a very interesting story. So, but at the end of it, the same thing happens again, and they look around. Who will give us the next?
I will say, well, since we are intruding upon your camp, it is only fair that I honor my part of the bargain and offer a tale of my own. Though this is not something that happened to me, but one that happened to somebody that I have heard of within my lands. There was once a group of adventurers that traveled around many lands seeking treasure and glory, as many adventurers do. One happened upon a cave where they met a blue dragon. The dragon at the time was asleep, but quite large and much too fearsome for the party to be able to defeat if they were to enter into a fight, so they decided to attempt to trick the dragon. What they did is they very stealthily painted small purple spots onto the dragon and stole a very small amount of gold, and then awoke the dragon. The dragon was at first very angry and threatened to eat the adventurers, but they were at first the dragon was confronted by the halfling of the party. The rest of them were in hiding. The halfling then began to spin a tale about how he had arrived in these lands. He didn't know his way around and found himself in this cave seeking shelter from the weather outside. But also noted that the dragon appeared to be unwell, as indicated by the spots on his scales. The dragon became concerned about these and asked the halfling, "Well, what is it then? Am I ill? What manner of illness is this?" The halfling responded that this is a strange illness that afflicts only dragons, but it makes the dragon smaller and smaller until eventually he withers into nothing and reverts back into an egg. Well, the dragon was clearly terrified by this. Eventually, the dragon went back to his rest, and the group of adventurers continued on, stealing more treasure, but then very sneakily expanded the cave somewhat by sort of hollowing out the cave entrance, making it appear bigger inside. They then dressed the dwarf in the attire of the halfling, and when the dragon awoke, he said, "Wait, did you get bigger? What is this?" He says, "I don't know what you mean. You appear to have gotten somewhat smaller, in fact." And so the ruse continued. The next time the dragon awoke, it was the elf, and the time after that, it was the human. The trick carried on for quite some time until eventually the dragon realized the ruse, but it was too late. The adventurers were gone, as was his treasure. And so as the dragon, in his rage, began to chase after the adventurers, the weakened cave, after all of the hollowing out that they had done, collapsed on top of the dragon, and he was crushed. The adventurers themselves made out with a sizable horde, and many tales to tell.
After you finish your story, the Vistani kind of look around, stunned. Eventually, one of them hops up to his feet. "That story was bullshit! There's no way that they could have tricked such an intelligent creature as a dragon." And then someone else was like, "I don't know, man. Maybe they could have. I mean, there hasn't been a dragon in Ravenloft for centuries. I've never met one. Certainly you haven't. Who are you to say otherwise?" And they all start arguing amongst each other whether or not your story is true. I'm going to give you inspiration because that was a wonderful story. But eventually their bickering dies down because it's all good-natured, you know. And then they kind of sit around the fire. After a moment, they kind of dies down into silence, and they all just kind of sit and look at the five of you.
I kind of look around at the group of Vistani there. Do I see the women that were in the tavern? Do I see any of them?
Currently, no, you do not. This is all dudes.
Oh, they're all men, no women?
All the men are at the fire. Yep.
They say, well, friends, while your company is most enjoyable and I'm enjoying these tales passed around between us, I must ask, where are all the women?
They are occupied elsewhere, working.
I see. Perhaps they will join us later on.
It is doubtful. There are very few here at the camp. Actually, the only woman present currently is Madame Eva. And when he whispers the name, you see all the other Vistani kind of like make a symbol, you know. I don't want to confuse it with like the crucifix, right? But it's that same kind of gesture. You know, they sweep their hand in front of them, and they make a gesture, with their hands, almost like a pair of horns in front of their face. And it seems just very superstitious, almost instinctual upon saying her name.
Okay. And this woman, is she the leader of your camp?
Aye, Madame Eva is. She is ancient, centuries old, and she has the sight. She uses it to guide the camp, to help us along, so that we can be wealthy. And then someone else pipes in, so we can survive.
Well, she sounds like quite the woman.
Aye. It's
Perhaps.
probably why you were sent to us.
It is quite possible. It was a young woman that suggested that we come meet with the camp. Now, if they are not likely to return, perhaps they had some ulterior motive for asking us to come here.
They sent you here because Madame Eva is she is very curious. In her long life there, and having seen so many different futures, nothing brings her greater joy than to look into the lives of very strange and odd individuals. I believe that our sister sent you here on her behalf. And he kind of looks up at the sky and the sun. He says, I have a feeling that we've wasted enough time. You should probably go and meet her.
If it would not impose, then yes, I would gladly pay my respects.
So all the Vistana start getting up, and they kind of move to the sides, right? Making like an opening for you guys to pass through.
Sure. I'll kind of straighten myself up a little bit so I'm a little more presentable after a bit of a rowdy conversation and traveling on the road, and start heading forward, I guess.
Yep. And you can see that there's a small trail that leads up and into that single tent that was lit from the inside.
Okay.
Anyone else gonna join them?
Fester kind of hesitates for a moment, but then kind of waddles off after the rest of his group, kind of staying behind them.
Okay. The tent is incredibly cramped, but all of you are able to kind of stand in shoulder to shoulder. Peering into the tent, you can see that there are magic flames casting a reddish glow over the interior of the tent, revealing a low table covered in a black velvet cloth. There are glints of light that seem to flash from a crystal orb on the center of the table, and there is a hunched figure peering into its depths. Before she looks up to see you, the crone speaks, her voice crackling like dry weeds. "At last you have arrived!" As mad laughter erupts from within the tent, and a bolt of lightning strikes across the sky.
I take it you are Madame Eva? My name is Arius. It is a
I
pleasure
know
to meet
who you
acquaintance.
are, Arius. First and foremost student of magic, devotee of Agma, god of knowledge. You are far from your cloister, aren't you?
Yes, that is.
And what
So-
of you, Assuan? Where is your sun-skinned tribe? Why have you left them? Or was it not your choice?
He doesn't really give an answer, he just kind of stares at her in the eyes.
And then she looks around. And you, Mcpherson, you are far from home, aren't you? Oh, what a strange and wonderful world you've stumbled into. But just wait, there are many more wonders in store. And then she looks back at Fester, and she just kind of looks you in the eye, and you see her that smile, that playful cackling, kind of hesitates for a moment before she turns her gaze over to Kriv. She says, "Ah, yes, and the Dragonborn! How could I not greet you? Welcome, oh mystical knight. It is a honor to have you in my humble tent."
Kriv just snarls.
"Oh, come now. I mean you no misfortune. If anything, I seek to aid you."
Mcpherson will, when he enters the tent, he'll remove his hat, and he'll notice the magical flames, and he'll examine it for a moment and reach for it to see if there's any kind of heats or any kind of logical explanation as to why there's flames there.
Okay.
And then while she's pretty much just naming us all off one by one, he'll retort and say, "You appear to know us, yet we do not know anything about you."
Nor do you need to. I am Madame Eva, and I will be telling you your fortune today. And she pulls out it from seemingly nowhere, right? She takes her hands and she kind of moves them slowly past each other in front of you, and when she slides them back, she's just holding a deck of cards. And as she takes these cards, she kind of shuffles them up a little bit and places them on the table in front of her. And she says, "Here, lean in. I have such wonders to show you."
Sure, I'll gather around a little closer.
She begins to shuffle the cards, and as she does, she holds up the first card, and she has it with the back showing towards you, and then she places it on the table face up. She says, This is your past. This card tells of your history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. Seek a cask once containing the finest wine, of which not a single drop remains. There you will find the knowledge to help you. She draws another card and places it at the top of the table closest to you. As she flips the card up, she says, "This is your ally. It will be a great weapon to help you against your fight with the demon. It tells you of a powerful force for good and protection. A holy symbol of great hope. You will find it near the sleeping prince, a servant of light and the brother of darkness. The treasure lies with him." She pulls out yet another card, takes a look at it, and you can see her kind of wince. As she takes the card and lays it on the table in front of you, she says, "The bishop. This is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight and vengeance that will smite Strahd where he stands. The weapon lies in a pile of treasure beyond a set of amber doors." She pulls out yet another card and lays it in the center. Lays it at the bottom. She says, "This is a man who will help you on your journey. He will assist you in your fight against the Dark Lord. And if you find him, you may succeed." And then she lays down the Broken One. This card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against the darkness. your greatest ally, a druid. His mind is broken. He is be plagued by his failure. But his spells remain strong. He is haunted by his misdeeds in his past. Remind him that he is strong. Rally him to your side. And then she pulls up the final card and places it in the center. The Ghost. Your enemy is a creature of darkness, whose powers are beyond mortal comprehension. This card will lead you to him. Look to the Father's tomb. There he will be, waiting for you. And she kind of, pulls herself away from the table and blinks her eyes for a second. I'm sorry, I see nothing more.
Okay, if I could, I'd like to make an insight check, just to see if she's being sort of legit. If she's
legit?
Or, yeah, like sort of you said that she's
don't even bother making a roll.
She kind of. Okay.
I mean, there's she is impossible to read. I mean,
okay.
She just spouted off a bunch of stuff. It could be the ramblings of a madwoman, or she could be a genuine psychic. It's impossible to tell.
Considering she just read off her, she read most of us and knew who we were. Wouldn't exactly say she's lying.
You can, in your journal, there's a new handout, Fortunes of Ravenloft, with the cards that were drawn and the dialogue that she told you. Okay?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that way, if ever you want to reference it again later, you got it.
I was sitting here trying to write it all down by hand.
Yeah, I've just made notes on all of the
cards. It's a good thing your DM is so prepared, right? And that he loves you and spent the time doing this ahead of time. All right. So after hearing your fortune, what's your reaction? What would you guys like to do?
Well, while all of this is going on and while she's reading out fortunes, I'm making notes about all of this the same way that sort of I did in real life, making sort of brief notes. My character's making sort of scribbled notes in his book, so that he doesn't forget or anything like that. After everything's done, he will kind of just sort of gaze at her for a moment and say, Madam Eva, it seems you are wise beyond what we were told. I thank you for your kindness in reading our fortunes and helping us being prepared against this darkness.
She just kind of nods and waves her hand.
Criv is going to speak up and ask the woman as to what she gains from telling us this fortune.
She looks up at you and gives a very weak smile. She says, entertainment. I will be watching you along your journey. I am eager to see whether you succeed or fail. But either way, it will be more entertaining than looking out over that accursed lake for another day.
So then if you'll be watching us then, would you be able to provide assistance in our time of need?
I have given you more help than you will ever realize, child. And she reaches up and kind of strokes your face.
I just snarl as she does it, but I don't back away.
Question? I have a question.
Yes.
What type of sword is this that you mentioned?
And she kind of blinks and looks at you and she's like, what? I'm sorry. The vision, it begins to be hazy. I don't quite recall.
Okay, then.
The spirits have left me for now.
I kind of checked my notes, and it was a blade of searing sunlight, or something of that nature. A weapon of sunlight and vengeance beyond amber doors.
She she starts to rub her temples, and you can see like she's kind of straining, almost like she has a headache. And
Okay,
she looks around all of you.
of-
She's like, "Please leave me now. You're welcome to make camp with us for the night. Please travel no more. It's much too treacherous as it grows closer to dark."
Madam Eva, you are most kind. We shall trouble you no longer. Please, rest well.
Okay. And on this note, I think this is a good stopping point, right? So everybody go ahead and take a long rest. Assuan, remember to remove 1 level of exhaustion. I want to say though, right? You guys make camp for the night, and when you wake up in the morning, camp is gone. It's just the 5 of you laying in the middle of an empty field, and there's no sign that the camp was ever there. There's no scorch marks from a campfire. There's no hoof prints in the ground. There's even the ruts that were in the mud from the carriages as they pulled through. Even those seem to have mysteriously dematerialized, and it's just the 5 of you. And on that note, we're gonna end for today. If you enjoyed the stream, make sure you come back next week. We play Curse of Strahd every Saturday at 7 Eastern. Also, make sure you check out the schedule under the stream so you can see all the other days we play on the channel. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.